What is up, guys? Welcome back. So as you guys can see, we're currently not home, but I wanted to sit down and talk about honestly the main issue that I've seen just countless times with unprofitable traders. And it's usually people that have been trading, multiple years or even like a year or extended amount of time, and they're still unprofitable. And I always get questions, and obviously I went through the same thing. So we're gonna talk about it. And the main thing, it all boils down to one thing, and I'm gonna elaborate, but it's not taking accountability. What do I mean by this? If you guys have been trading for an extended amount of time, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, you have issues. If you're unprofitable or you're break even or something, you have issues. There's obviously something that's keeping you back from making money. But the main issue I see with a lot of people is they don't take accountability. What do I mean by this? Let's say your issue is over trading, okay? You recognize that you have an over trading issue, right? You go back in your trades, you see that, but yet you don't take preventative measures to fix this issue. That is the problem, okay? What do I mean by this? Let's say your issue is over trading. Move to a broker or a platform where you are able to set trade limits that locks you out, right? After, let's say, one trade a day. That is going to forcefully remove that habit, okay? The issue is you guys are not doing this, okay? With every single trader, it doesn't matter what strategy you trade, it doesn't matter what you do, you can look back on your last 15, 20 trades, no matter how bad they are, and realize what the issue is and take that accountability, but you guys don't. For example, I used to struggle a lot with just FOMOing in and trading when I shouldn't be trading. And now what I usually will do is going into the day, I'll usually just check the chart on my phone where I'm not logged into anything. And if it just doesn't look favorable, I'm not even gonna open my laptop and even have that ability. That is a mechanical rule I set in place a bit back. One thing I did in the past as well, a while back, was after I placed my trade, I would close my computer because I had a really bad issue, right, with managing my position. I would get emotional. The second I see some P&L, I'd want to close, right? So what did I do? I took a forceful route, right? And I would close it. I remember this was in high school, but I would delete TradingView off my phone and I would delete MetaTrader at the time and would give myself no, option to kind of sabotage my own trade, right? That is what I mean by taking accountability, guys. The issue is you guys are not doing this because I'll always, I'll talk to someone that maybe they're struggling with an issue. It'll be like, okay, I'm just taking way too many trades. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like, okay, do you have a trade limit set? And it's like, well, no. And there's always an excuse. There's always some sort of excuse why you're not doing what you should be doing. Okay, maybe you're chasing price, right? Maybe you're just see that you're kind of entering and then you're just getting really bad entries and we're retracing, okay? What can you do? You can always just, set price limits on your trading view, right? Where you would only want to take an entry. If it doesn't hit that, you don't take an entry, right? Where you want price to retrace to, so you're not chasing price, right? And then an alert at your target when you know you missed the trade, right? So you can always set those alerts, not look at the charts, wait for an alert to hit, and then kind of hop on, right? But the issue is, again, you guys are not doing this stuff. I'll always have people, it's like, okay, show me your last 10 trades. Look at the last 10 trades. Okay, there's a very clear mistake. You're just taking entries in bad conditions. And you might recognize that, right? You might recognize that issue, but you don't fix it. And this is the issue. You guys will do anything but accept accountability. And I know this because I used to do the same. I remember when I used to journal, whenever I take a bad trade or one that I just wasn't proud of, I didn't want to journal it. I didn't want to accept that loss. I don't want to take accountability. I wanted to think in my mind of why it was okay that I took that loss, right? It's a lot easier to cope with yourself, think of 100 excuses why you can't change this one thing, why you can't change this, rather than accepting that you're being an idiot, okay, and fixing the actual issue. It is so much harder to do that, to set mechanical things. Maybe you have an issue with risking too little, okay? So, or maybe whenever you risk more, you get emotional or whatever. So it's okay, another mechanical thing, you can always just place the trade, walk away, right? Or just force yourself to, stuff like that you have to do, but people don't do it. And this is the main issue, the main thing that keeps people unprofitable or break even. Because I've seen, people will be break even months on months on end, but they don't fix that issue, right? They recognize that issue, and I know they recognize it because a lot of times I will tell someone the exact issue they're facing, exactly what to do to fix it, but then they'll come back and nothing changes, right? Months down the line. Why? Because they didn't fix that issue, right? Because it's hard. It's hard. It is very uncomfortable. You have to step outside, your comfortability zone. You have to step outside to take that action to fix that step because, it's hard. Maybe you're, holding trades more. Maybe you're, I don't know, just being a lot more patient. Maybe you're risking more, right? Maybe you're not managing early. Like whatever your issue is, okay, it's hard to fix that issue. It's a lot easier to get comfortable with that issue and just let it develop like a habit and keep it for months on end. Because I remember that's what I would do. I just got into the constant habit. It's like, okay, I can't hold my trades. I literally just that's what I told myself. I can't hold my trades. It's like for those couple months when I was struggling with that, I remember, again, I just was used to it and I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm just gonna have to make my way through it just knowing I can't. No, that's not. It's not until, like I said, months from then, right, that I finally was fed enough, 4 months in, I'm pretty sure it was. And I was like, okay, dude, next trade I'm placing, I'm actually taking this serious. I'm deleting everything off my phone. I'm not intervening. And that is what ended up working, right? I think I said this in a video before, but I used to struggle a lot with, overtrading and then again, obviously holding trades. So the first week I remember I did that and I actually followed everything. I deleted, everything off my phone. I went I think 2 for 1 or whatever. I had a profitable week, right? Never had a profitable week before that. So actually following my system. And it took, 3-4 months of making excuses why it was hard to do, rather than actually doing it and realizing, bro, it wasn't that hard, right? But it's really, really easy. And this is why, I get so, sad. Not sad when I make these videos, but in a sense, frustrated. Because I've seen, both ends of the spectrum. Obviously, you guys have seen, when I'll interview someone, and then I'll talk about someone that's in the worst, possible, point, or they're not in a good thing. And people think there's a big difference between the two. The answer is, it's really not that big of a difference. The only difference is, as a matter of fact, is you take that accountability and you fix that issue. And it really can be that simple. You actually fix the issue. Obviously, fixing that issue is hard, right? Because that issue is probably gonna come up again. Is are you gonna have the discipline over a month span to not fold, to not go back to your old ways, right? It is hard. But once you engrave that new habit, again, I don't know what the data is on building habits, but I think it's 27 days to, of course the video cut out while I was trying to make my point, but like I said, I think it's 27 days to break a habit and create a new one. So it's if you guys can force yourself, if you guys can really just force yourself to go a month, right? That's why do you think I, made that video about the 30 trade challenge to tell you guys, if you can take 30 trades, I promise you all your issues will be fixed. Not all, but most of your issues will be fixed. You will actually be green rather than red. Same thing here. You can go a month and you actually truly follow your rules, right? Even though your P&L might not be crazy, you actually followed all your rules. You got it engraved in your mind. You fixed the issue that was holding you back, and you are gonna be, I promise you, so much farther than you are right now. But the issue, and again, that's why I said I get so frustrated, is I know 99% of people, maybe not 99%, but a vast majority of people, it doesn't matter what you tell them. It doesn't matter you tell them exactly what they need to do, okay? They still are never going to end up doing it, and they're always gonna be a part of that losing statistic. So again, video is gonna be a reminder. I promise you, you know what your issue is, okay? Because obviously you're the one that's creating the same mistake over and over again, right? I know I listed some common ones in the video so far, but it's what your problem is. Take that accountability, look yourself in the mirror, right? Like I said in the last video, you can look yourself in the mirror and say hey, this is my issue. Look at yourself and say, if I don't fix this issue, I'm not gonna achieve my goals. I'm just gonna run out of money. I'm gonna, whatever fear that you have, you probably are going to experience that fear. And that's not me just saying it. That is going to happen. Right? That literally is going to be, if you want a cause and effect, the cause is that issue that you won't fix. The effect is your life getting ruined, okay? That is just brutally simple how it is, okay? But once you have that issue and you understand all you have to do is just fix that issue, then it's okay, bro. You know what I mean? It sounds stupid, it sounds simple, because it is, and it's funny, talking to this, because I can see how simple it can be. I've seen how simple it can be when you fix that issue. I know I made, a a couple videos back showing literally how, not quick, but how simple your journey can be. If you do follow, your system, you follow your plans, you follow everything that you should be doing. But again, most people won't do it. So I don't know. I guess a little wake up call, or just remind you if you haven't realized yet, reflect on your actual trades. Okay. See what the issue is, find the actual issue, and then fix the issue today. Okay. Not today, Monday, right? Whenever you trade again, fix the actual issue. Don't make it again. Come back to this video in 3 months, and I promise you will thank me. But yeah, catch you guys.